that cyclist who I mentioned is sitting with me here at Luda's. His name is Chris Budlong. He makes his way to work at King Edward School on Arlington at Selkirk Avenue. Commutes from the West End, sometimes by car, but as I mentioned, more often year-round now by bike. And to say that he's not looking forward to changing his cycling route to McPhillips due to the Arlington Bridge closure is an understatement. He's at Luda's on Aberdeen to weigh in. Hello.
Good morning.
So, how long have you been doing the commute by bike, out of curiosity?
I've actually always commuted it by bike.
Okay.
I just didn't do all wet weather biking, but spring, summer, fall. It was a way of going to one car.
Got it.
In our family.
Yeah. So you drive sometimes still, and you bike year round.
Yeah,
now.
but if I take the car, everyone's stranded at home, or they have to do transit. So, and now my kids are older, so I bike almost constantly. When COVID started, that's when I started doing year round biking, because our family wasn't willing to risk me being on transit every day with the way COVID was going around. So,
got it.
Yeah.
So that prompted the bike.
Yeah.
So you've got just sort of different perspectives on the commute. Your commute takes you from the West End over the Arlington Bridge often, right?
Yeah, every day.
Every day?
Every day.
Yeah. How long have you done that commute?
I started working at King Edward, not this school year, but last school year.
Yep.
But I've been commuting, like I said, for years. But that commutes every day. So you go over the bridge, go to work, and then you come back.
So what is it like commuting over Arlington?
Sorry.
No, yeah, go. Why don't you just take it? Because that says a lot.
Any bridge in this city is kind of a weird commute, because you have a cycling lane, and then it disappears.
Okay.
And there's only a few bridges where there's actually a spot for you to cycle on. Main Street's one that comes to mind, where there's actually a dedicated cycling spot. But you go over other bridges, and you're either on the road or you're on the sidewalk. So there is no space for you. And Arlington is even worse. Like, I will never ride on that roadbed. I will go on the sidewalk.
Okay, so this is going to be telling, because you say Arlington hasn't been great for you as a cyclist, although it's necessary.
It's shortest.
However, you're not looking forward to going to McPhillips as a cyclist. Why?
McPhillips is a road that doesn't have a cycling lane. Right? So now I'm on the road. And it's a 3-lane, high-traffic road where...
What's it been like for you when Arlington's been closed in the past and you've had to hike over there?
I haven't ridden McPhillips very much because I try to avoid it, right? But now that I have to, one of the things I'm noticing is that the cars are not, I don't know how to say it, maybe not as courteous.
Okay.
And I'm trying to be diplomatic. I don't want to tick people off. But
you don't feel safe there?
Pretty much. Because last winter when I had to do it for a little while, one guy rolled down his window and told me to get off the road. And... sorry, I'm here. And he told me, go on the sidewalk. That was right after a snowfall. They hadn't plowed the sidewalks yet.
So you find a different attitude, at least from your opinion.
And even with studded tires, a 3-inch layer of snow is not as safe as that much.
So you didn't have the space on Arlington, but you found that you didn't have as many people maybe annoyed at you.
But Arlington's a weird road, right?
But
when you drive
Phillips
down it, everyone treats it like a 2-lane road, but it's not until you get to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Because it's actually a lane and a half, so there's room for you.
Well, when this bridge closes, and now it's closed indefinitely,
it's closed,
what does it mean? And in the past, I should have phrased that, when it has closed, so you have experience with what it's like. How much does it add to your commute by bike, first of all?
Well, when it's closed in the past, they've left the sidewalks open, so I never had to detour.
So how much is this going to add to your commute?
It adds a kilometer, which is about another 5 minutes or so. Like, it's not a lot of time and space, and I use it as a workout anyway, so it's not going to hurt me at all, but it's the safety thing that kind of bothers me a little bit. And I cycle everywhere in the city, so I mean, I've cycled down Portage.
You've got good experience.
I've got good experience looking out for cars and stuff like that. But yeah, there's an undercurrent attitude of drivers, and I'm a driver as well, so it's like, I get it. It's more like a person thing, where you want what you want, and you know, get out of my way. And
what worries you about the future of Arlington Bridge now?
That it will stay there, deteriorate, finally get dismantled, and never get replaced. That's the worst case scenario in my mind. Is that route and that connection will be gone forever.
Do you have a thought on what you hope the future of the bridge will be? Will it be?
Well, you mentioned this on my drive in when you were talking about was it 2018, 2016? They did that.
Yeah, Christian Cassidy was on with History, but he was also part of a group looking at the future, and they had focus groups in 2018.
Yeah, and I remember looking at the designs, and And sorry, I got distracted by my thought there. What was the question again?
No, that's okay. I
Yeah.
was asking about what you hope the future of it'll be, because there's different options.
I hope they'll replace the bridge with one of those designs from then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you remember what design you liked best? Obviously,
Oh.
you've already said you think it should include proper lanes for pedestrians and cyclists, but
There was one design that actually had that embedded in it. It was I believe it was a 3-lane road with the middle lane changing back and forth depending on rush hour, and then both sides had cycling and pedestrian lanes.
what if they get rid of it altogether, but they do commit, this is an astronomical amount of money, we're going to hear how much this hour, but let's say...
You're talking about relocation of the
Sure,
rail lines,
yeah,
aren't you?
the rail lines, yeah, and they redevelop that area, that huge area into...
I don't think CN and CP would ever do it without a lot of money from the governments.
So you don't even want to talk about it. Let's talk about
it's a neat idea, but they got to be on board, or we're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, that's
Right?
100%. We've done lots of work on the story
Yeah.
before. That's 100% true. I want to ask you this, though. Besides it being a bridge, we talked about the commuting aspects and the future of the bridge as a structure or not. But what's your sense of the north-south divide aspect of this? Because there are some people that feel like they are in this part of Winnipeg where we're sitting this morning in the north end, and they look around at infrastructure, and then they look around at infrastructure in other parts of the city, and they do feel like somehow, here we have this deteriorating bridge that connects the city not getting attention, and other infrastructure projects in other parts of the city have been sort of improved or replaced.
It's easy to talk about your own backyard, where you live. My family and I have lived in the West End for 20 years now. And there have been numerous projects that we've seen that we've voiced our opinion about, written to our councillors about that, hey, we need this stuff. The Sherbrooke Pool is one example that comes to my mind. I got the name right this time because we talked the other day. I didn't get it right.
Yeah.
Because they talked about closing it and before they renovated it. And we wrote in and said, that's not a great idea, because you're taking away something we need in our area and you're building a new facility in the south part of Winnipeg. Nothing against the south part of Winnipeg, but why would you close something that we need?
So when you think about the West End and you think about the North End and the central part of the city, does it feel like it's...
And it's not based in any hard facts. It's just a feeling you get that the outside of the city gets more benefits or more attention or more infrastructure dollars. Like, I don't know the exact money, what the dollar amounts are, but that's the feeling you get when you live in the central part of the city and you talk to people and they go, oh, you live downtown, it's so awful down there. And,
just moving forward, what do you hope the city considers beyond cost as they come up with a plan for Arlington Bridge?
Besides cost, like what connects us? What is the cost? Can't be the only issue. It's really easy to rationalize by the dollar amount because it's hard fact. You can actually mally it, but it's hard to talk about community connection. It's hard to talk about those feelings that I mentioned, and I think those are just as important to know that this part of the city is valued, and we're going to look after it. And I in this area when I first start working at King Edward, I took my bike and I rode around this area, and just took a look at what's the community I'm going to be involved in, right? And there's lots of places down here that need attention.
Thank you very much for weighing in this morning,
Yeah.
Chris. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem.
Chris Budlong is a daily commuter who had been using the Arlington Bridge. And as you've been hearing, he does work at a school. He commutes from the West End to the North End every day. He works at King Edward School right on Arlington. So last week, the city shut the bridge down till at least February, where it will be reassessed.